There she blows. Basically, here's the crack. Oop, there is some oil on my phone. I've got some JB Weld, and we're going to just progressively try and patch up that hole and hope that we can get rid of as much of that oil as we possibly can. And if we can stop the engine from leaking long enough for it to drive, we might be in business. It's a pretty simple repair. Here's the JB putty. We're just hoping that I can squish it far enough into the gaps and the cracks that it will seal and actually hold. It's no good just covering it up. I've got to make sure it's malleable and it gets right up into the crack. And so that by the time that hardens, hopefully in about 60 minutes, that will be completely sealed. Alright, now I'm going to put this down and try and smooth out these edges, and hopefully we can get some adhesion. Alright, so I have smoothed that out as best as I could. All we can really do is hope that I degreased it well enough that it will actually adhere. That's smoothed down fairly well, and I'll see if I can get a side on angle. Probably won't do too well at focusing. Basically, I've got to watch these edges and try and make sure that there's no oil seeping out. But I'm fairly confident that I fixed up that crack, or I filled it well enough. Basically, I've just got to let it harden now and hope. What I'm looking for is any points that look like oil might be getting through. And I really hope that that's sealed up enough so as that it won't leak. So it's got a curing time of 60 minutes, this JB putty. Basically, I just need to come in and check on it every 5 or 10 minutes or so, and you know, obviously there's still a bit of residual oil in the pan, and it was still leaking a little bit, but I had drowned it in degreaser, and hopefully I've done enough. I just keep on harassing the edges, hoping that I can create an extra seal. But this is probably upside down, but I can flip that around in post. The driveway's on a hill and we're still just under here with jack stands. This is a bit of first aid. The whole pan's going to have to come off eventually and probably get welded up from the inside. Either that or it's $500 to replace. And you've got to swing the air conditioning pump out the way and the turbo downpipe as well. But I feel like this is going to be the real pain in the ass. And I'm not doing it now because I don't want to start pulling all these off and then getting to a point where I can't put anything back together. But at least if I can get it to hold oil, at least for a little while, as in not drain out in a day, it will be drivable. And if I can drive it, it's going to make it easier on everyone. And so I just need to leave that alone now and come back and check on it when it's cured. It's that awkward moment when the battery's got enough to set off the alarm, but not enough to unlock. So by the time that's fully charged, the patch underneath should have cured, and we can throw some oil in and hopefully start it up. It's starting to cure pretty well, I'd say. It's probably got about 20 minutes left. So the battery's getting there. We are at the point under here where the patch is cured. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some oil down, and fingers crossed, nothing comes pouring out of it. So I've just poured about 2 litres of oil straight down the gullet, and we're looking, and it doesn't appear to be seeping yet, which is a really good sign. Whereas previously the old patch, although it held up for almost 2 years, was leaking pretty much straight out. So there's about 4 or 5 litres of oil in the car now, and so far not a drop. So time to take it down off the dodgy stands and reconnect the battery, and fingers crossed it'll start up. Right. After a bit of struggle with the immobiliser, this is the moment of truth. So it needs to spend a little bit more time on the charger before I try and start it up. So I've got to leave the battery on for a couple more hours at least, because I just drained everything that I just put into it trying to start it. Jeez. Doesn't have enough juice to start. Not yet. Let's see what the battery drained to. So it's morning, the charger's been on overnight. I think the battery's toast, but we'll try again. Have at it!